From the very beginning of One Piece, Gol D. Roger has been treated like a legend wrapped in mystery. We know where he ended his journey. We know he reached the final island. We know he found the treasure Joy Boy left behind. But the most confusing part of that entire story isn't the treasure itself. It's the fact that Roger laughed. For years, fans have assumed that Laugh Tale earned its name because Joy Boy left behind something genuinely funny. A feast, a joke, maybe even a massive prank meant to make the first Pirate King burst out laughing. And on the surface, that idea makes sense. Joy Boy was tied to Nika, the embodiment of freedom and laughter. Luffy, his successor, laughs in the face of danger. So why wouldn't Joy Boy leave behind something joyful? But the more I look at the story, the more I believe the truth that Laugh Tale wasn't funny at all. I think it was devastating. Roger and his crew didn't laugh because the treasure was hilarious. They laughed because the truth was so cruel, so ironic, and so hopeless that laughter was the only response left. When Odin describes that moment, he doesn't say they celebrated. He doesn't say they cheered. He says Roger laughed after seeing the treasure and hearing Joy Boy's story. A story, not just an object, not just gold or power, but a recorded truth from the void century itself. And that matters. Because if Joy Boy left behind a story, then Laugh Tale isn't a reward. It's a confession. Throughout One Piece, laughter has never meant happiness. Saul laughed while being frozen to death. Doflamingo laughed while the world burned around him. Luffy laughs when he's terrified, broken, or pushed to the edge. In this world, laughter is how strong people face unbearable reality. So what if Roger wasn't laughing because Joy Boy's story was a joke, but because it was the ultimate tragedy? Joy Boy lived in an era where the world tried to be free. He made a promise to the fishmen. He opposed the rise of the world government. And he lost. Not because he wasn't strong enough, but because the world itself wasn't ready. Now think about Roger's words. I wish I had lived in your era. Most people interpret that as admiration. I don't. I think Roger realized something horrifying on Laugh Tale, that even if he had lived back then, the outcome would have been the same. Joy Boy didn't fail because he lacked power. He failed because history wasn't aligned yet. And that's why Roger was too early. Not too weak, not too late, too early. Roger discovered the truth of the world and realized he could do nothing with it. He learned about Emu, about the lie of the empty throne, about the original sin that shaped the seas, the races, and the centuries of oppression that followed. And then he learned the cruelest part of all, that the world would need to suffer longer before it could be free. That realization isn't funny. It's depressing. And yet, Roger laughed, because Joy Boy may have written his own downfall as a joke, a cosmic irony, a man who tried to free the world only to become a message meant for someone born centuries later. A hero who lost, knowing someone else would one day succeed. Roger didn't laugh at Joy Boy's death. He laughed at fate itself, at the absurdity of a world where truth exists, but timing decides everything. That's why Roger disbanded his crew. That's why he turned himself in.
That's why he sparked the Great Pirate Era instead of challenging the world government directly. He wasn't passing on treasure. He was buying time. Laugh Tale isn't a place meant to make you happy. It's a place that tells you the truth and tests whether you can still smile after hearing it.
Roger could laugh, but he couldn't act. Luffy, on the other hand, is different, not because he's stronger, but because he was born in the right era. And when Luffy reaches Laugh Tale, I don't think he'll laugh the same way Roger did. I think he'll hear Joy Boy's story and finally finish it.